So after Charlottesville, and many of you remember that, the University of North Carolina police and also state police had begun tracking activists. But we talk about anti-racism activists. Now, anti-racism activists didn't kill Heather Heyer in Charlottesville. Anti-racism activists didn't walk around with tiki torches talking about Jews will not replace us. They didn't do that. They didn't cause calamity and fights and everything at Charlottesville. That was those on the alt-right and all kind of white supremacist organizations put that together at the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. But yet you're going to track anti-racism activists? You see, this country has always had a history of this. Even we talked about a few days ago about Dr. King. You're tracking and surveilling people that are speaking against racism and white supremacy, but you're not tracking the white supremacists who caused the death of a woman. You're not trying to eradicate white supremacist groups. As I told people, this country was created on racism, white supremacy, and that's how it's maintained. So anyone that's trying to mess up that status quo, they're going to be looked at. You're making too much noise. You're getting in the streets with it. Yeah, you're going to be looked at it. So they say in the aftermath, after the white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, the UNC Chapel Police began using a controversial tracking technology known as geofencing. After the FBI, the same FBI that was J. Edgar Hoover, tracking all the black people in the civil rights movement, notified them that activists planned to protest at the Silent Sam Memorial. Now, the Silent Sam Memorial was a Confederate person that walked around with guns all the time. You know, it's a Confederate. So you're tracking activists that's speaking up against a Confederate, which the Confederate considered the enemy to the United States. They lost the Civil War, and you're tracking them, the people that's speaking up against that. That's all kind of wrong, okay? So they said that the FBI warning went to the UNC police, came a day after protests met in Charlottesville to remove the Robert E. Lee statue from the city park. They say the tracking technology pulls information from unsuspected people who are in a specific area, determined by their phone's geolocation systems. They say it even captures a person's social media post as well as other personal data. They said the technology has been used by President Trump re-election campaign and by certain retailers to send targeted ads to a person's mobile device, the report says. Now, that's all kind of privacy violations. How is it they had this kind of technology, and where is the judge's approval of that? And that breaks all kind of laws. That breaks our Fourth Amendment rights. That's illegal searches and seizures. You capturing people's social media without their knowledge or no warrant, no anything. Like, come on. I mean, that sort of thing has to be challenged in the courts. And these police departments and the feds and whoever else using this, retailers need to be sued. What is a retailer doing with that type of technology? Advertise the old-fashioned way. Put an ad out on YouTube. Put an ad out on TV. People see it. You ain't got to be sitting up here geo-tracking people's phones. But we were warned about the technology that they have. We were all warned. Now, they said because of the violent nature of the Charlottesville protests where white supremacists killed an anti-racism activist by the name of Heather Heyer by ramming his car into her, the police are on high alert to monitor the activities of protesters in North Carolina. So because of the white supremacists killed a anti-racism protester, you monitor them and not the white supremacists? How does that work? It lets you know they're protecting the white supremacists. NBC News at the time had reported that the FBI agent sent the UNC campus police chief an email on August the 13th, 2017, read, I'm sure you're already tracking, but we wanted to make sure before warning that activists were expected to protest at the Silent Sam later that evening. He said, we have no information of any planned violence at this time, the FBI agent said in the email. It said, any intelligence we develop, we push your way. Now, they say the news reported that UNC had entered a 3-year contract with a company called Social Sentinel Incorporated of Vermont to use the geofencing software. It said the contract reportedly ran through October 31, 2019, although campus police are still using it to track information in designated areas, a university spokesperson stated. As a spokesperson, however, wouldn't divulge what purposes police are using the technology or when it was last used. It said outside of saying it was used to ensure campus security. So a company by the name of Social Sentinel Incorporated, ladies and gentlemen, is the one that's helping them do this. They need to be sued, because how is it you operating that and violating the Fourth Amendment? That's what I want to know. Number two, students on the University of North Carolina campus, you should be appalled and upset, because the university is getting information from your phones or your parents' phones, whoever comes around in certain areas without any kind of search warrant, treating you like criminals, seeing your social media posts, like I said, without any kind of warrant. That is a problem. The students at the University of North Carolina should be outraged that the university is doing this crap. They should. As time goes along, more and more things are going to come out. How they're doing all kind of dirt, and like they said, what's done in the dark will always come to the light. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this story that came out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, how the university and the police is using technology to spy on your phones. Ladies and gentlemen, if you go into a specific area, you don't know where the area is at, they treating you like a criminal without any kind of cause. That should be brought up, and the students should be outraged by knowing this information.